Hi, Aquarius. So the vast majority of you voted for a message from Spirit. And I'm glad that you did, because as I was preparing for this reading, I was really picking up on a lot of really cool, heavy, but still very insightful, important downloads. The number 7 is just overwhelming in a good way. All right, so let's just say in 7, let's get the first split in 7. So that was 1, 7. What do we have? Okay, there's a definite split here, whatever this is. Justice. Guys, I can't make this up. Justice in the 7 of cups. So this is how the split came out. Amazing. So that's Venus in Scorpio and a card of Libra. My hands are shaking with excitement. Somebody is considering something. Somebody I feel is making a major life decision. I'm thinking of that phrase, the 7 deadly sins. You know, that was never, that's the 7 vices that was made up by very, very Orthodox Catholicism. That did not originate from the Bible. What originated from that were virtues, 7 virtues. Actually, on that note, I'm just going to pull them out. Hang on. Do you know what's interesting? I'm just reading from Justice here, and also remember that the Temperance card, you know, the angel, Archangel Michael, has a cross within, a triangle within a square on his chest, indicating the septenary, which is associated with any group of 7. It's chastity, faith, good works, concord, sobriety, patience, and humility. Now, of course, the Catholics turn this into, I've got it somewhere here in my notes, victory, the need for property, money, pleasure, lies, dishonesty, hiding the truth, you know, the 7 deadly sins. Anyway, so what I'm seeing here, though, I'm seeing somebody that is realizing that something was terribly unfair. And I think that somebody is changing their mind about someone. Somebody judged somebody on their outward appearance. And somebody, I believe, frankly, is shocked. I don't think this is you, but someone is shocked that, and I think there has been a terrible injustice. It may be too late to correct this. I'm not sure. Something may have been going on for 7 years. Like also thinking of the number 7 in the Old Testament. Now this is, you know, very sort of Orthodox. I suppose it's Orthodox Christianity, but it could be considered to be Orthodox Jewish. But, you know, there was every 7 years, what was it called? Every 7 years a debt should be forgiven. every 7 years, one must forgive someone a debt. And it's called the Lord's, just a minute, I want to give you the right term. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. There's a warning here about true giving. And, the theme of this is in the Old Testament, of course, but whether you believe this or not, it's still a very important idea that I think is relevant to a peaceful, happy society. The idea is that every 7 years, as long as there be poor among us, that every creditor should release a debt, not to his brother or to his friend, but to a stranger. Let me read. This is from Deuteronomy 15. And at the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother hand shall release, save when there shall be no poor among you. For the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. In other words, you'll be paid back many times over. But have a listen to what is said about someone who feels nasty or mad that they have to do this every 7 years. This is interesting. Just listen to these 3 paragraphs about someone who could be feeling hostile about having to do this. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of the gates in thy land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and thou shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the seventh year release is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee. You get what I mean? No matter what you believe, most people that I know are excited to give a gift. I used to have a problem receiving things. I know what it feels like, how fun it feels to give somebody something. But I always used to feel guilty being the receiver, but I'm getting really, really good at accepting and enjoying gifts. But do you know that there are people who don't like giving? Not very many, I don't think. Well, in my world, thank God, not very many. But yeah, karmics don't like giving. Greedy people, greedy people. A lot of people who murder people, who kill, do it out of greed, lack of love. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm dying to know what's going on here. So this could be somebody who knows something is wrong. They know they have to give. Let's see what it is. Okay, I'm so glad you guys picked a message from Spirit. All right, what do we have next, please? Show us more. Okay. Wow. I hope I get this right. So this is exactly how it came out. Why do I feel like this is so heavy? Guys, you're going to have to give me a minute to figure this out. It's deep. All your readings are deep. So, I mean, a very simple interpretation. I always see justice as the right thing to do. And of course, the Ace of Cups is the Eucharist. It's giving, giving, giving. I'm getting something else. I'm getting something else already. Oh, I'm getting the Last Supper. I am. Your readings are always fascinating. One sec, Aqua. Okay, so just on the mundane level, before I say anything else, what I'm seeing here is that I'm feeling that you were supposed to get something, the correct thing. There's a blessing that was supposed to come toward you or is coming toward you. It's the right thing. Okay, but just give me a moment. I think someone is learning a lesson about you or realizing something. The Ace of Cups has a lot to do with love, empathy, forgiveness, blessings. It is symbolic of when Jesus was seen to be baptized. I believe it was John who noticed that a dove, Jesus was an adult when he was baptized, he saw a dove fly down, and I don't know if the dove sat on Jesus' shoulder or sat somewhere near Jesus and wouldn't leave for a really, really long time. It's, the dove is supposed to be dropping a disc into the cup. It's like bread that you eat and the wine if you're Catholic when you're doing Holy Communion. But it's about importing spirituality into love, unconditional love. And this is what's fair. Maybe somebody is realizing that you're unconditionally loving. Right after the Last Supper of Jesus of Nazareth, he was arrested and then taken away and later on put to death. And the way that he behaved during the arrest was just really interesting. Some of the disciples sort of got their backs up and got upset. One of them took their sword and sliced off the ear of one of the Pharaoh's soldiers who had arrested Jesus, and Jesus healed the ear of the arresting officer and disagreed and said something about he who lives by the sword will die by the sword. The Pontiff Pilate was very upset because he couldn't find any reason to execute him. Jesus was not defending himself by speech at all. It was a horrific thing that we did. It is historically proven. We have mounds, a plethora of evidence historically that this actually happened. We are all responsible. All of us are responsible for allowing that to happen, including other deaths that we've caused in other areas of the world and in this area of the world. We are all responsible. All of us are responsible for it. Somebody is having the shock of their life about you. I think you either didn't fight back or let's just keep going. else do we have, please? Wow. Aquarius, I love your readings. They're just so fascinating. Look at the devil. The Ace of Cups. Right next to each other. Just like when Jesus died. Jesus of Nazareth, and many other people from Europe, if you're of a different culture. So before I begin to look further into this may just be a very straightforward message from Spirit that one of our projects while we're here, since I was just talking about the responsibilities that we all have, one of the most incredibly challenging things to do is to find in our hearts empathy for somebody who is horrible. I remember when I was younger, the fellow that I told you about that broke my heart into a million pieces. He was a lawyer. This is about 25 or 30 years ago. I was working for him. And he had a case with a young 16-year-old girl who had been charged with murdering her grandmother, tying a cord around her neck and strangling her. And I thought, I'm not sure if I can do this case. We were on the defense side. And so one night he dropped me off at my apartment with a file. He said, this is a family file. I'd like you to read this overnight. I was a little insulted and irritated because I wanted to work on the big case. So I spent all night reading about this very sad story of a 2-year-old child who had to be removed from her mother's care because there were fork marks found in her cheek. The mother would put a fork in the element of the stove, and when the child would cry, the mother would just burn the little child's cheek. And all the names, of course, were blacked out, were redacted. And so, this made me very upset. The next morning, my boyfriend picked me up. And I said, why was I reading that file? What are we doing on that one? I said, what does this have to do with anything? He said, you've already met that client. And I said, what? And it turned out that 2-year-old little baby became the 16-year-old murderer. So, that's what happens. It was the murderer. That's what happens when no love is given. Okay. Remember that many times before I've told you the only difference between this card and the Lovers is that in the Lovers we have, just a moment. I promise I didn't screw it up. I just started at the bottom trying to figure out where that one was. So in the Lovers we have a man and a woman, and they're both naked. It looks very similar, right? So, everything that's in this card, everything is also in this card. It's not that there's something evil in this card. It's that there's something missing. So this card has fire, earth, air, water, and spirit. This card has fire, earth, air, and water. And the spirit has been dumped out. And we know this because the pentagram is upside down. You see the pentagram there? The triangle, the tip of it is supposed to be at the top. Now I'm going to put this back exactly the way that it was. So this is underneath this. We have the Ace of Cups and the Devil. Okay, what do we have next? What do we have next, please? Show me, please, Spirit. Thank you so much for this. Very, very. Wow. To think about this for a moment. I may need to clarify because I don't know who the, perhaps somebody saw you this way. Somebody didn't see the love in you. Somebody maybe thought that because you were single, that you didn't care about anyone else. I once heard somebody, I was floored when I heard somebody talking about me the other day, saying that she doesn't care about anyone but herself, which was so funny. But I guess that he was thinking about that because I was single. Maybe somebody thinks that. I think we're going to have to clarify. Let's clarify using the Llewellyn Tarot deck. Why? I'm just going to get in 3. Why are we getting the Devil and the 9 of Pentacles? What does this mean? Okay, it's right here. 3 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles. Give me a moment now. Give me a moment. I think somebody was heartbroken over you. Got the 3 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles. They may be angry with you because they were heartbroken. Just give me one more clarification, please. One more clarification. What do we have? The 9 of Pentacles with the Devil. Okay, here it is right here. Temperance and the Moon, 2 major arcana. I'm just going to go again. Someone who was unclear for a long time, or unclear about why the weight, unclear about why you seemed fine. Why do we have? Okay, there's a lot about this Temperance card here. Someone raising their sword to Temperance. Obviously, Sag could be involved, Capricorn, Virgo, Libra. Raising their sword to Temperance. Why the weight? What is Temperance? What is somebody's problem with Temperance? What is somebody's problem with Temperance? Somebody could have had it all. Somebody, what is the Devil and the 9 of Pentacles? What is it, please? Whoa. 2 of Cups and the Magician. I think somebody's just frustrated because they want to be with you. They want to know why. How does the person in the 9 of Pentacles feel? What do they want to do? How does the person in the 9 of Pentacles feel? Because I think that's you. The Empress and the 2 of Cups. Great. All right. Then why is somebody in the 7 of Cups and the Devil? Why? Why? Because of the weight. All right. Well, show me what the Hanged Man is. The world. Okay, give me a sec. What is the devil? I feel like there's something they haven't forgiven you for, or they haven't forgiven. What is the devil? What is the devil, please? Strength, holding back, Queen of Swords and strength. Something's coming out into the deck. What was that? Hierophant. Justice. What does this person think Aquarius did wrong? What does this person think Aquarius did wrong? 3 of Pentacles and strength. What does this person think Aquarius did wrong? 9 of Pentacles and 3 of Pentacles. All right, so what's the 3 of Pentacles? Justice and the 9 of Pentacles. All right. Maybe they're waiting for you to become single. Maybe you're waiting for them to become single. The Hierophant and the Devil could be something that's very, that they're chained to. I'm not sure. But there is a very strong need for your person. There's a strong need here for someone to forgive somebody else. All right? And I'm seeing a lot of these swords coming out, which reminds me of the slicing of the ear. Sorry. All right. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm just going to put these cards away and ask, I think I know what this is. What is it that Aquarius wants the most? What does Aquarius want the most? Okay, hang on. Oh my God, there's that 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups again. So, I mean, part of what you want the most is a truth or someone to make a decision. I'm about to sneeze. Hang on. I'm just going to clarify, whoops, with another deck. What is it that Aquarius wants the most, please? Show me what Aquarius wants the most. Show me. Oh, there's the star, the Ace of Pentacles. You're going to get it. Now look, I want to read you a little quote. Since we had the world, and we had a lot about forgiveness here. And we had the lion, we had the strength card come out. So this comes from Mark. So the New Testament, 11:24. For this reason, I tell you, when you pray and ask for something, believe that you have received it, and you will be given whatever you ask for. And when you pray, this is the kicker. Remember the Ace of Cups. Forgive anything you may have against anyone, so that God may forgive the wrongs you have done. So part of what slows down manifesting is if you haven't sort of squeezed out or gotten rid of any, sort of, and it's really hard to do. I struggle with that too. Any wrongs against other people. I feel like there's something else. I feel like there's one more message. One moment. What I feel it's about are people that could be around you. Because I did see that Three of Cups. And I don't feel like that's a third party situation. I think that these are others, people that are around you. Is there anything that Aquarius needs to know about people that are around them right here? Yeah, the Devil. All right, clarify. That may have been. So I'm just going to clarify what kind of devil energy this is. This could be someone within your family or within your business, organization, or group. Whoa. Ooh. So somebody could be trying to scare you. Somebody could be making judgments about. Clarify what kind of devil energy this is. It's disguised as love, which is what I don't like. Yeah. It's trickery. How are they trying to make Aquarius feel? Oh, jeez. So there could be somebody within your family. Yeah. This could be somebody who from childhood, yeah, was judging you from childhood. Okay, now, this is all about fear, about instilling fear. Can I see one more piece of guidance as to how Aquarius should deal with people who are trying to instill fear of victory? Six of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. Nice. All right. So, Six of Wands is all about having people around you. All of these people admire this person. All of them. All of the people around this person are fans. They admire them. These are people who do great work together. There's not very many. Notice that. I just thought of a great quote to end your reading with. You've heard of Exodus, of course. So way before Jesus of Nazareth was born, hundreds of years before he was born, in the time of Moses. Moses was the one who led the Israelites out of Egypt. He saved them. They were slaves, actually. They were being beaten and tortured. So back then, their religious leaders were often called high priests. And the high priests were called upon to go down and to, almost like before a football game, somebody will go in and give a great big pep talk to the team. Well, the high priest would be elected to go down and give a great big pep talk to the Israelites, especially during the time that they did, in fact, leave Egypt successfully. I am going to read to you the impact and how important it is to surround yourself with people who are not afraid and who are not sarcastic or who think you can't do it or who think, oh, well, the likelihood of winning is very low, so And it shall be, I'm reading from Deuteronomy 20, when ye come nigh unto battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people. And ye shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint. Fear not, and do not tremble. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying," Now I believe that this next part was meant to be quite sarcastic. "What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her." And here's the important part. "And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart." Now, anything is possible. And if you allow yourself to be surrounded by people who've already decided that something's going to fail, well, what point is there? That's not living. That's not living, Now, if you have a job and you can't avoid people like this, well, kudos to you. It's a great challenge. Huge challenge. All you do is what I do, if you're around negative people like that, is you put on an Academy Award winning performance. You say, "Oh, is that right? Oh, you're probably right. You're probably right. Yes. Oh, I gotta go call so-and-so." That's what you do. It's incredibly hard to do. And in your mind, you think, "You idiot." You just don't let them trigger you. Okay? And you can shake it off later. All right. Let's get one more split. This has been a very powerful reading, guys. For Aquarius Spirit, this is such a beautiful reading. What else do you want Aquarius to know? Guys, Spirit loves you so much. We've got the Fool and one of my favorite cards of Aquarius, the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius. It is smoothly moving into this state. So with the Fool and the Six of Swords, the Fool is you. It's interesting that we were looking at the very beginning of this reading, pushing boundaries, of empathy, open-mindedness. That's all about you. Oops, sorry. By the way, that staff that you're holding there, that later on becomes the Hermit's staff. Sorry, that's Tinkerbell out there. She's very vocal and very, very needy. Well, I actually love the way she's needy. You're not needy. I just love, this is the Heaven and Earth Tarot deck, by the way. I just love this deck. So Perhaps the reminders are the fact that you are the one that pushes boundaries. The Fool is known for pushing boundaries, traveling high, being free from the limitations of the world. So maybe the world is stifling the Fool. Don't let the world stifle you. Now, the Six of Swords, beautiful card. It's a 6. All 6s are related to Tiferet on the Tree of Life, which is the most beautiful Sephira of the Tree of Life. It has to do with empathy. I had my Sephira sheet out a minute ago. Yeah, Tiferet, empathy. The ability to empathize enables us to be harmonious. The ability to empathize enables us to be harmonious. I have written down all 6s in tarot are the most beautiful of their suit. What else do I have? Mercury in Aquarius. It also has to do with the idea of being able to pluck information that you need out of the air. It's also associated with the second decan of Aquarius, by the way. You guys are known as the shit disturbers. Excuse my language. Just for fun, I just got out my decan notes on the Six of Swords, second decan Aquarius. So this would be like January 31st to about February 10 Aqua. Give or take a day, but it could be all of you. They like science and technology, but have a huge range of interests. The ability to communicate complex ideas really well. I also have written down Gemini Mercury decan, so there's some influence of Gemini and Mercury in this decan. And then I have written down they can be shit disturbers and get bored easily. What I mean by that is good. Were it not for disturbers, we wouldn't have an alternative, a dissenting view, which often becomes the correct view. So this is why I love Aquarius. I am not Aquarius, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know that. I am an Aries, Leo rising. Now, getting bored easily. I happened to notice, by the way, since we were talking about I can't remember if we were talking about King Solomon or not. But I was thinking about the building of the temple. And were we talking about that? I think we were. And the cards that were coming out during your reading. And so I made a little monologue. And I don't know if this means anything to you. Here we go. So you may have heard this maybe in a biblical study or some kind of a church ceremony. But this was actually written by King Solomon. So it's more like a Jewish, Hebrew, possibly Islamic. By the way, the Islams, and correct me if I'm wrong for anyone who is a Muslim, they do believe that Moses existed. And it's almost all the same history that they have. The only thing is Muhammad is somebody that was born. He was actually born in 571 Anno Domino in Saudi Arabia, and that he is very important to the Islamics. So we should be paying more attention. But anyway, to end the reading, this is from Spirit, okay? Written by the very man who did build the first temple in Jerusalem. So this would be about, hundreds and hundreds of years before Jesus of Nazareth was born. This temple would have been broken down during the siege of Jerusalem before Jesus of Nazareth was born. And a second temple would have existed by the time Jesus of Nazareth was born. Anyway, who cares about that? Here is a message from King Solomon. And it's probably, this is from Ecclesiastes, the King James Version. I hope I'm not going to get weepy. To everything there is a season. Oops, do I have this wrong? Hang on, I think I have these in the wrong order. Just a minute, I think I do. Okay, let me try again. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, there you are, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck that which is planted. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. There's the Three of Pentacles. Time to weep. A time to laugh. Time to mourn. Time to dance. Time to cast away stones. And a time to gather stones together. This guy looks like he's not just gathering them together, but keeping them. A time to embrace. And a time to refrain from embracing. This person is just holding back. Sorry, guys. A time to get. And a time to lose. Time to keep. And a time to cast away. A time to rend. A time to sow. A time to keep silence. And a time to speak, a time to love, time to hate, time of war, and a time of peace. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. So it's interesting because we're not really supposed to know what's happening. I am going to do one more little split for you guys. Looks like you guys are doing amazing. I think the whole point of this, wow, have a look at where you're headed, Aquarius. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I'm going to get one message from Spirit for you, okay? It's a very general reading, but I think that many of you will just simply Okay, so that's the one we're taking. No matter what changes life brings, nothing will change my love for you. You give my life purpose. Because of you, I feel safe. I am forever grateful. Thank you. I feel that's from someone special. Thanks so much.